Hello student, how are you? Myself Pawan Kumar Mishra. Again, I am in front of you to explain the next part of the human reproduction. Okay, you know very well oogenesis. It means formation of ovum from oogonia. Generally, you know from oogonia there is the formation of first primary oocyte. Then from primary oocyte, after meiosis first, there is the formation of secondary oocyte, and in secondary oocyte number of chromosome just become half, and secondary oocyte after complete in secondary oocyte after completion of meiosis second, there is the formation of ovum and the second polar body. Ovum have also the number of chromosome just half. Okay, so this is the flow chart which represent oogenesis. This is given you in NCERT. Okay, I have explained the oogenesis. I am just briefing before how hormone affect the oogenesis. It means hormonal control of oogenesis. Right now, you know very well oogenesis started from the during the embryonic development. Okay, so which hormone influence this process? Right. First of all, the first hormone, you know, hypothalamus. Right, this hypothalamus release one hormone that is known as gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH. Right, this gonadotropin releasing hormone influence anterior pituitary gland, right, anterior pituitary gland. Okay, due to the influence of gonadotropin releasing hormone, release two gonadotropin hormone. It release two gonadotropin hormone. Okay, two gonadotropin hormone. You know the name of gonadotropin hormone, FSH, and second one LH. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, and second one luteinizing hormone. Right, so anterior pituitary gland release two hormone, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These are known as gonadotropin hormone. Right now, these gonadotropin hormone influence or act on ovary, both gonadotropin hormone influence the ovary. Then what happens inside the ovary? Inside the ovary, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, stimulate follicular development, and maturation of oocyte. Follicle stimulating hormone stimulate follicular development. You know how follicular development takes place. In follicular development, from primary follicle, there is the formation of Graafian follicle. And Graafian follicle, you know, large number of the granulosa cells develop. There is the development of theca externa, theca interna. Okay. So, and also formation of secondary oocyte from the primary oocyte, right? So this occurs with the help of follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, so follicle stimulating hormone influence ovary. As a result, inside the ovary in the cortex region, Graafian follicle develop from the primary follicle. This is known as follicular development. And from secondary oocyte develop from the primary oocyte. This is known as maturation of oocyte. Okay, due to granulosa cells release estrogen hormone. Okay, granulosa cells which present in follicle, granulosa cells which present in follicle release estrogen hormone. So you can write here granulosa cells release granulosa cells release estrogen hormone, right? When there is the high concentration of the estrogen, it influences anterior pituitary gland. Okay, so in other words, influence anterior pituitary, right? Estrogen influence anterior pituitary for LH surge. Then the one word LH surge. When there is the large amount of estrogen secreted by granulosa cells of ovary, or you can say Graafian follicle, right, or follicle, then rapid secretion of luteinizing hormone occurs through anterior pituitary gland. When there is a rapid secretion of luteinizing hormone occurs through the anterior pituitary gland, this is known as LH surge. Okay, so due to the influence of estrogen, there is the LH surge, right? And due to LH surge, Graafian follicle, G of means Graafian follicle, rupture, and there is ovulation, right? It means when high titer of LH, or you can say high concentration of LH developed due to the rapid secretion of LH by anterior pituitary gland, this is known as LH surge. And due to the LH surge, mature Graafian follicle rupture and release the ovum. This is known as ovulation. So after rupture, Graafian follicle ruptured, Graafian follicle form corpus luteum. Right? This corpus luteum release progesterone. Hormone. Right? This progesterone hormone, what is the function of progesterone hormone here? You have to know. Okay? This progesterone hormone keep, or you can say prepare uterus to receive fertilizer. Right? Every month, this progesterone, develop endometrium of the uterus. It means endometrium becomes spongy, richly supplied with blood capillaries, okay, covered by the mucus. Every month, endometrium prepare itself with the help of progesterone to, to take fertilized egg for implantation of fertilized egg. This confirms the pregnancy. That's why progesterone is also known as pregnancy hormone, you know very well. So generally this occurs during the during the gametogenesis, especially oogenesis, because oogenesis is the part of gametogenesis in the female, right? But when there is high amount of progesterone, this one, if progesterone amount is high at that time, it means if progesterone amount is more than the required or estrogen is more than the required, this there are the two conditions, right? Right? If progesterone concentration is more, right, then there is negative feedback. Right? In the same way, there is negative feedback. But in which condition? When concentration of estrogen or progesterone is more than the required amount. At that time, more concentration of progesterone or more concentration of estrogen inhibit hypothalamus and anterior pituitary gland to release their secretion. Suppose estrogen inhibit hypothalamus to inhibit release of gonadotropin releasing hormone, and also it affect the anterior pituitary gland to inhibit the release of gonadotropin hormone. In the same way, if there is more progesterone, then more amount of progesterone also inhibit hypothalamus and anterior pituitary gland to release their respective hormone. So this is known as hormonal control of oogenesis. फिर से इसको हम समझ सकते हैं, हार्मोनल कंट्रोल oogenesis में कैसे होता है? हाइपोथैलेमस गोनाडोट्रोपिन रिलीजिंग हार्मोन को रिलीज करेगा. Gonadotropin releasing hormone influence the anterior pituitary gland. As a result, anterior pituitary gland release two gonadotropin hormone, that is known as FSH and LH. यानी दो gonadotropin hormone release हुआ, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, both gonadotropin hormone influence ovary. ये ovary को impact करते हैं, right? As a result, inside the ovary, follicle stimulating hormone stimulate follicular development and maturation of oocyte. Follicular development में क्या होगा कि from primary follicle there is the formation of Graafian follicle, okay, and from the primary oocyte there is the formation of secondary oocyte in maturation of oocyte, right? Graafian follicle में granulosa cells होते हैं. These granulosa cells release estrogen hormone. This estrogen hormone, when there is sufficient amount of estrogen hormone, it influences the anterior pituitary gland. As a result, anterior pituitary gland release rapidly more luteinizing hormone, that is known as LH surge, right? So high amount of luteinizing hormone, rapid secretion of high amount of luteinizing hormone takes place, right, due to the influence of estrogen. This is known as LH surge. Right now, at this position, due to the LH surge, Graafian follicle rupture and ovum comes out from the Graafian follicle. This is known as ovulation. This ruptured Graafian follicle form corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum release progesterone. This progesterone prepare uterus every month to take fertilized egg. But when estrogen progesterone amount is more than required amount, Then their high concentration inhibits release of GnRH from hypothalamus and gonadotropin from anterior pituitary gland. This is known as negative feedback mechanism. I hope ये सभी को clear हो गया होगा. The second most important thing, after oogenesis you get ovum or otid. Okay. So diagram of otid is very most important for the board examination. Today we have to know about the structure of ovum of otid. Ovum. First of all, you know you draw one structure in this way. Okay. ध्यान से इसको देखेंगे, इसमें कुछ नहीं रखा है. सबसे पहले first of all you have to draw one structure, and this structure is known as in this way. You know there is one large nucleus in the center, right? And there is the liquid part, and between them there is a space, red part, this one is space. So first this structure, this one, this membrane is membrane of secondary oocyte, so this is known as ulema. Okay. This structure, this is the cytoplasm, ooplasm, right? This structure, nucleus, okay. This structure represent polar body, right? So this complete structure, this one is known as secondary oocyte. Okay, this one is the secondary oocyte. Around the secondary oocyte, you know very well, there is one layer okay, there is the one layer around the secondary oocyte, right? This is known as zona pellucida, and around the zona pellucida there is granulosa cells, you know. These granulosa cells ultimately change in this way. There is the one more structure, one more lining here. Right? So listen. First of all, this is important here. This red color structure, this one, zona pellucida, This zona pellucida, non-cellular, non-cellular structure, site for provide site for sperm attachment, right? And around this, there is the cortical corona radiata, elongated corona radiata cells here present. You can draw in this way. You can draw in this way. Okay, in this way. So this elongated cell, this one, radiata, this one is known as corona radiata, right? So zona pellucida, this is the most important thing first. This is diagram of ovum, right, or otite. If you see, this is the female gamete, okay. First, this is known as female gamete, right? Now, the second you can say non-cleidoic, okay. This is important term, non-cleidoic. Non-cleidoic means without shell, without cell. The second most important thing about the ovum of the human, that is, you can say non-elicital, okay. Non-elicital. Non-elicital means without yolk. These are the two important terms. Right now, these are the two important terms for the ovum of the human being. Non-elicital means without yolk, and non-cleidoic means without shell. If you observe, this is also bipolar. Bipolar. Bipolar means there is a two pole here in this. This one pole near the polar body. This pole, this part is known as animal pole, and one opposite to this one is known as vegetal pole. Okay, and that the space between the secondary oocyte and polar body. This space, this is space, this blue color dotted space. This space is known as peri-white line space. Okay, so this is the complete structure of ovum of otid. The most important thing, Zona pellucida, this is the non-cellular structure, and corona radiata, this is the cellular structure. Right now, Zona pellucida provides site for attachment of the sperm. Sperm get attached. Only one sperm can get attached to the Zona pellucida layer. You can also draw with the help of this diagram here. Suppose that this one is the sperm, right? So this is the complete structure of ovum on otid. Zona pellucida have the protein receptor protein, right? By which sperm recognize the site for their attachment. Okay? When one sperm get attached, then there is the change in the Zona pellucida membrane by which other sperm cannot attach. Thank you.